Joining me now to get the latest on the news of the week is One Nation Chief of Staff James Ashby and Radio 2GB host Luke Grant. Gents, welcome. Now, there's a Sydney mosque that's planning to commemorate the deaths of 3 Hezbollah fighters killed by the Israeli army tomorrow. The Al Rahman Mosque, it's called, in the southwest Sydney suburb of Kingsgrove, is going to hold this service. And according to Hezbollah, one of the men who will be commemorated was, quote-unquote, martyred as a result of the Zionist aggression on South Lebanon. Now, as you can expect, James, this has got the shackles up for people in the Jewish community. I mean, how ridiculous to think that anyone... I ask this question all the time. Surely if you come to Australia because you think it's better than the place you came from. Why would any mosque or any other outfit for that matter, think it was a good idea to celebrate terrorists in Australia?
I'm glad you put that into a little bit of perspective there, Caleb. The truth is, these people are terrorists. And if we want to put it into better perspective for people across Australia that are watching right now, if you could imagine 9 years ago, Sydney went through a horrific terrorism attack at the Link Cafe there in the heart of the city. And if you remember rightly, it was Madman Monas that killed 2 Aussies. That was almost 9 years ago. We're talking about the same treatment of these Hezbollah fighters, terrorists, and giving them some big celebration send-off party off to Mecca or wherever they're sending them to. The reality of it is, this is just appalling. Most Sydney-siders should just be horrified at this idea, and no wonder Islam has an identity issue or going through a crisis here in Australia. No wonder Australians fear Islam to some degree, because this is what they promote. Not peace, but terrorism. And not all Islamic followers do that, but far too many in this country do. And we need to put a stop to this. I hope some of those imams wake up to themselves and say, we are no longer going through.
And that's it. I mean, if you're an imam, you have a responsibility to your community to lead them in the right direction, Luke. And I didn't see a lot of condemnation from mosques after you saw those scenes on the streets of Sydney last Monday at the front of the Opera House, gas the Jews and all the other foul things that they said. Anyone who rocks up to this service on the weekend ought to be put on an ASIO watch list, surely.
Well, look, it's about reading the room, isn't it? I mean, it is initially, and I agree with what James said. It's about decency. It's about, you know, in this country, we welcome, we give you all the opportunities, we love it. And that's not to say that the vast majority of people who attend this, if there are people attending it, won't be Australian born. But please leave your rubbish at the door. Don't bring it in with you. And fresh in the mind of Sydney-siders, it's not that obvious to point out, as you said, Caleb, it's people holding up Free Palestine signs and others saying, F the Jews, gas the Jews. Hello? And are they going to have a complete set? Why not invite down a couple of Bali bombers while you're at it? I mean, it's just wrong on every bloody level.
Yeah, it's frankly disgusting. Hopefully they don't get too much of a crowd there. But as I say, anyone who does turn up ought to be watched.